I'm not joking. It wasn't like there wasn't like beatings associated with it, but there was definitely pretty extreme rules as far as that was concerned. We wouldn't get dinner. Yeah, same. Maybe the way that's broadcast is similar, is different, but the idea is the same. Is that manners were more important than being a person. So, I don't understand what tiger parents means. Sorry, Garg. I don't know what that nomenclature is. So a lot of Chinese people chew with their mouths open, so it wasn't a thing for me. I learned to do it because of school. Well, it's cultural. You know what I mean? The whole like chewing with your mouth open and stuff like that. That's I don't think that's, you know what I mean? I don't know what tiger parents is. I've actually never heard that description of parents before. And it kind of terrifies me because tigers generally have their place in the natural world, and that as parents it seems it seems like it's bad. Hymn of the Tiger Mother. Mr. Bojangles, what's up, dude? Mr. Bojangles, did you say that you had purchased Street Fighter 6? If you did, later on this evening, we are going to be doing a little bit of round robin playing tonight. And if you wanted to get in and learn, tonight would be a good night to do so. Hymn of the Tiger Mother. I've never heard that before. Is that like helicopter mom? Is that what that is? It kind of like another way of saying helicopter mom? A lot of people in the USA were like appalled at their kids, called it child abuse. Called it child abuse, but it's pretty accurate how Chinese immigrants raise their kids. I'm actually really curious to see what this is, because I've never heard it before. I've never heard that expression before. Okay, I'm supposed to keep on with our BG run with me and Ran B, but they often bail, so it happens. Okay. If it works out and you can play with us, that'd be great. It's extremely authoritarian. See, there was extreme actually mine. Let me rephrase that and make a amendum to my previous statement. It wasn't extreme authoritarianism as if it was more like, don't interrupt me. Another cutscene.
Light be my.
Uh-oh.
Lamplighter, Anduin, your light. What happened?
More shadows. We're trapped in here, aren't we? It doesn't.
No, we're not giving up here. Let's go. We can do this if we stick together.
Trapped in darkness, there is no way out. Yeah, so that's it. So I wouldn't classify my.
Through you. But what if it goes out? What if you failed your people?
I wouldn't classify my parents as.
You think I've never failed?
I wouldn't classify my parents to say that it was authoritarian, as much as I would classify my parents to say that they were very, very specific about not wanting to be interrupted and extraordinarily selfish.
I lost an eye and an
Both of them. particularly my mom.
Be unworthy of the light.
I could do whatever I wanted
I regret
as long as I didn't interrupt them or bother them or interact with them or disrupt what they were doing.
It's all we can do. We can't give up.
So that's it's a different thing. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like authoritarian is like, you will do this, or like my parents could not have cared what grades I got,
Enjoyed hurting people?
but if it made them have to do something,
Able to agonize
like discipline me or ask me to do homework, then that fell into the
doubt. Making
boom.
mistakes. None of these make you unworthy.
For example, my dad made us write up requests to hang out with friends, do anything really 24 hours in advance. So, funny story. And you had to have time, place, point of contact. Okay, that's very different. So, this is a difference of like the way I grew up. If I didn't have any rules as far as where I could go or what I did, as long as it didn't require them to do anything. If that makes sense. Like they would drop me off, like, you know, like, oh, do you want to leave? Okay, cool, we'll drop you off. But there was no like, you know what I mean? Like as long as it didn't require them to go and meet people or talk to other parents or whatever.
We are a light in the darkness.
If that makes sense.
Illyria, we would have been lost without you. Thank you.
I'm glad you're all safe. Let's end this.
Yeah, so a little bit of a difference there. You know what I mean? Like, because there were times where like, you know, like little kids like wanted to see like, you know, rated R movies or whatever, that kind of thing. Like there were no rules for that stuff. Like I could literally do whatever I wanted. You know what I mean? Like stay up late and watch like Skinamax stuff. You know what I mean? Like there was no rules for that stuff. Like you could literally do whatever I wanted. There was no censorship. I could read whatever books I wanted. If I wanted to read like Stephen King books, they were just given to me, as long as it didn't require me to actually have them do anything. My parents refused to leave me at home when they went to see Independence Day.
You know the light is not.
Independence Day traumatized you?
Darkness so deep that the light cannot.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you. I know that you're younger than me.
Just be here.
Independence Day was a very different movie for me.
Now,
You know what I mean?
breathe.
So, and I guess you'd say a flip-flop for that is I saw Aliens in the theater when I was probably the same age. But I wasn't
We are the seekers
traumatized
of
by it,
light.
but it definitely
We are the
changed.
holders of hope.
I mean, I have a fucking a xenomorph tattoo on my entire back.
We are the lamps that guide the way.
Did Anduin just find love? That alien's just a monster, though? See, when...
It's a first step. The rest is just time and trust.
And there was, and the tentacle scene? Not the scene where Newt is in the water and she's going, Ripley! Ripley! And she's holding the fucking bear. And
My faith.
that's the one that fucking gets me every time. That's a great fucking scene. Dude with the tentacle wrapped around his neck, yeah.
In my heart, there is fire.
So did you see,
Give in to fear.
did you see,
We need to return to Merodar.
Romulus? Aliens Romulus?
What happened here?
This Order of Night is no mere cult. The Harbinger they speak of is Zalatath. She won't stop.
Oh, if you're not big on the whole tentacle stuff, whew, it'll wake you the fuck up. That's for sure. Is it good? Yes. I put a review of it in my Discord in the movies channel, the movies and shows. I put a review of it. It's good. I mean, it's not as good as the Alien or Aliens, the first two, but it's still a fine movie. You know, it's worth seeing in the theater. There's a difference between like movies that are like great, like in the theater movies, and like movies that are, you know, you don't necessarily need to see in the theater, but they're still good movies, if that makes sense. Just because there's something about the volume and the big screen and stuff like that that are more enjoyable to see in the theater. You know, big movies are good. You know what I mean? Like crazy, like Deadpool and Aliens movies, horror movies are so good to see in theater. And she told me it was July 4th. I was very clear I did not want to see Independence Day, and she told me it was July 4th, and I had no fucking clue what the July 4th was then. So when did Independence Day come out? Oh great, here comes Google. $1996? I was 20. Independence Day had a big... Independence Day was a very different movie for me. Like it was a silly Will Smith movie when I saw it. You know what I mean?
Corrupted the Dawn Tower's flame? Ashes take that man and this harbinger. We carry the flame into the unknown. Our holy mission takes a toll.
I'm sure it was funny to you. Well, I think I had already seen what was it called? I had already seen Jurassic Park. So Jeff Goldblum was like the same character in both movies. You know what I mean? You know, because he's dude, Jurassic Park is Jeff Goldblum and Jurassic. There's so many good things about Jurassic Park, but Jeff Goldblum makes that movie. I'm sorry. When I was 5, yeah. That was a dope movie. That's a great movie, Jurassic Park. That's a really, really good movie. Not just in the fact that the fucking dinosaurs and shit like that, but it was a fucking killer movie. The only thing that scared me in Jurassic Park was the spitting dinosaur and the fan. Yeah. Yeah. The ones that attack they're like spitting on the dudes. Yeah, for real. That's a good movie. It's got plenty of everything. It's got a lot of action. It's got a lot of fucking...
Friend, can you order a round of drinks?
Really?
Imperial style wine, mushroom brew, pick your poison. We're always open when
The cats are trained as well as the soldiers are. When one bonds to you, you have a friend for life.
Do you have a lynx?
Oh, no. No.
LOL, sorry, childhood trauma dump. Dude, you never need to apologize.
Our service to those in need. When shadow falls,
I just think it's always crazy to me to hear how people's differentiation between how their children grew up versus like even myself, you know what I mean? Just because it's like every single person has things that are both good and bad about their childhood that kind of like have developed them as a person and developed them as an intellectual and developed them socially and emotionally, how their learning is. You know what I mean? There's always something, you know what I mean? Because that's what makes us independent and unique. And And it's always fascinating to hear the differentiation between how people grew up, and you know what I mean? It's just so wildly different. I learned my aunt wasn't a tiger parent to my cousins, which is probably why they were so much nicer. Well, in not to bemoan the conversation, but do you feel like do you feel some of that energy sometimes come out in conversation yourself, or in how you view others and stuff like that? I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my parents were super like hyper manners Nazis and stuff like that. And like, sometimes when I interact with people and like I have a difficult time because they're like have poor manners or whatever, like I struggle. Like I sometimes really, really, really struggle with it. Like sometimes I like have to catch myself and I'm going, dude, chill out. Chill out. This is your childhood and the dog shit way you grew up. And it used to be a thing. Yeah, I catch myself. Sometimes I don't catch myself, but I catch myself more. As I've gotten older, I catch myself more now rather than when I was younger, where I would just let things go. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I'm better about it now. But I also recognized at the time my parents were different because I saw other kids getting to do a bunch of stuff they wouldn't let me see. Oh, I can see that. Yeah, and and I guess that if you're in an environment where your parents are just like super controlling and stuff like that, I can see where that would be exceptionally difficult, being that you're seeing it visually happening around you. That's crazy.
We cannot hide from evil.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Have I told you the tale of the hosen and the buttercream pie?
Meet Auralia, our quarter.
Yeah, my parents were restrictive, but not the same way. My parents were restrictive as far as like the like just don't bother me, which is a very different kind of thing, I think, than, you know what I mean?
Tells me your friend wields the void. I'm either going to regret meeting her or thank the flame.
Yeah.
We are the holders of hope. Always be prepared. The darkness comes. We are prepared for the Empire.
Holy shit,
Sacred
so many
flame
quests.
Guide your way, friend. We must prepare for Belladar to shift.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you notice the funny thing about it is that it doesn't affect our ability to communicate as people. Because you and I, you know, we play Apex and all those other games and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And even the wildly different variation of our parenting and stuff like that and our communication levels and styles totally doesn't affect our ability to communicate effectively between each other. You know? It's just crazy to think of that, like sometimes, and the age gap. I mean, if you were 6 years old in 1996, well, I'm 48. You know what I mean?
There is always hope.
I studied philosophy, sociology in school. Yeah. So did I, actually. My it was one of the possible things that I was going to major in.
The flame burns for all of us.
But I was constantly, I did really well in the my writing classes, creative writing. I did really well, and I was published a couple times in college for my writing and poetry and stuff like that.
No, something else.
Farron's at the orphanage. She was the first child to call it home. She visits whenever she can.
I would be classified as a creative person. Creative persons. I majored in psych. Then my dad made me go to law school. No shit. So do you practice law?
Careful in the dark.
So do you do like research or something like that?
Have you seen any spooky stuff?
So my sister, I'm currently on the ineligible list in New York and New Jersey. No shit. Because I didn't pay dues. Interesting.
Grown-ups say, be careful in the dark.
The fuck am I doing, dude? Is there a hiding child? Paying $1,000 a year? Holy shit!
We are a light in the darkness.
So my my
That's the warning bells of the main gate.
Children, inside!
So my sister went to school, and my stepmom is a fucking like super my stepmom is a super helicopter mom,
A beacon
and like badgered my sister. My sister's 20 years younger than me, by the way. So they badgered her. They badgered the fuck out of my sister. You know what I mean? Like, you know, go to school, yada, 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 because like my brother's a full-time musician. So he plays in a couple bands here in town, and he just does recording, and all he does is music. So my brother's a musician, and then my dad was like, you're not, to my sister, like, you're not going to become like my brother and become a musician and stuff like that, and, you know, get covered in fucking tattoos and shit. And like at the time for me, like when my sister was born, I was working as a mechanic, you know what I mean? Working on cars, like a mechanic. And there was a lot of that back and forth of the, you know, you're not going to do that. So they helicoptered her like crazy to get her to go to school. And they were like pushing her to do law. And she went to Vanderbilt on like a bunch of scholarships and shit like that. And they were like pushing her. And anyways, she went to Vanderbilt, and she went to school and fucking fell in love with art. And she got her degree is in political science. Just fucking useless. You know what I mean? But she works now. She works for a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C., and then she does trial work for cyber security. So she does like, you know, lobbying firms and stuff like that. They contact, or politicians or political groups, you know, will contact them asking for legal precedent work for, you know, for bills and such stuff like that. And that's what my sister does. She does casework for them. And she's kind of like hasn't figured out yet whether or not she's going to continue and go into get her law degree or whatever. You know what I mean? And actually finish the law degree. She probably could do it if she wanted to. She's smart enough for it. But she's a different kind of smart than like even I am. She's very like practice smart. You know what I mean? Like her ability to like get information and practice it. You know, like she was, as a young person, was educated far better than I was on how to study and that kind of thing and how to prepare yourself. You know what I mean? So she's very organized. Does that make sense? I had a judge tell me before I went to law school, unless you really need to be a lawyer, don't do it. I feel like that's one of those professions, law. There's also a bit of like, there's a little bit of politicking that goes involved with it too, which I think is like, it's not just about law, because there's a lot of like politicking that goes along with it, like selling yourself and working with other people. And I think that you can go to do something like that because like you're interested in it, but then that part of it, the politic part, that part of it's got to make you fucking crazy or push you away from it. You know what I mean? When the head judge changed his, because his mentor supported someone else. Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely can see that. Yeah, there's like a lot of like who you know and all that shit too. And that shit is in the legal world and in the political world. It's like, that stuff is so wrapped up in itself. It's so difficult and so challenging to manage, because law is very much an old boys club. Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt that for a second. And I'm not even in that world, and I know, and I can feel that. It's funny, it's like you watch the television shows about like legal stuff and all that shit, and it's like, even when you like watch the television shows about legal stuff, you get that sensation of that politicking and stuff like that, even just vicariously through those shows. And it's like, you get that feeling like, yeah, there's a lot of this shit, you know? Yeah, I can see that. The old boys club kind of thing.
Good to see you again.
It's funny. It's like, I know that whole world exists, and I know there's a ton of that shit in all of those worlds and feelings and stuff like that. And then I just totally like ignore it because I'm just the fucking dude with rainbow hair.
For the Empire, the darkness comes. We are prepared.
And it's supposed to be apolitical. You know what I mean? And like old families, yeah.
I would safeguard.
Well, I think that like law and all that stuff is part of that aristocracy. You know what I mean? That old, like ancient aristocracy kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like people see it as that, you know? Nepotism is rampant. Yeah. Like I feel like that's part of that. You know what I mean? That, you know, people, because they can hold on to that tradition and because they can keep that behavior, they do, because they can control it by their way of swaying that and forcing that upon other people. You know?
Come see my wares.
Like that old dude that was the DA that murdered his wife and son, like killed people in a boating accident and tried to cover it up. Yeah.
Spirits bring you good.
That was a crazy story, but that family, yeah. There's a lot of that shit, man.
Been waiting for you.
This land was not what we expected. The darkness comes. We are prepared.
General Steel Strike. She's kind of cute. Got a big fucking sword, doesn't she? Let me grab my sweatshirt. Actually, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry. That's what I thought that was. I was like, oh shit. Alright, I'm sorry about that. I apologize for that. I'm back. Oh. I apologize for that. Alright, what was going on here? So all this stuff is done?
We are the seekers of light. For the Empire.
What is this plush? Got all this fucking, like, tchotchkes. Like, what is all this tchotchkes? Like, this shit's so dumb. Tchotchkes. So, cape. I like that she's on her own boat. They're fucking culottes. Is there white culottes? Those are kind of cool. Yeah, we'll do this. Kind of like the culottes.
Where are we going today, Grandmaster?
Ridiculous, dude. I think it's time, though. As much as I'm having fun doing this, I think it's time to jump on the to start working on my mechanical stuff. I got a lot of work to do. I should have been working on it for an hour now, but
The Harbinger manipulates the Cobus through their hunger and the Arathi through their fear.
Good luck, Grandmaster.
Yes, yes! Night falls! Renalash begins!
hmm? Okay, so last one spawns here. Light Eater. The Light Eater. There it is.
Join me in the shadows. Bring the Harbinger joy.
So I need to.
Alberic's ritual is the source of this darkness. We need to break through this barrier.
Is there a big group of these things that I can just group up and fucking kill real quick?
So do I.
Fucking elite one here. Oh my god, there's none of these things, dude. They're like so far apart. It's taking me forever to kill them. Just have to fucking find them. The spawn rate is so fucking so low. There's just very few of them. Boop. You so for 15 yards, whenever whoever's closest. Oh, so I have to ride through them. That's why it didn't do as much damage. I have to make sure it goes through them. %5 damage dealt.
To speak of change without being willing to take action is like digging a hole to catch a cloud serpent.
We will find Zalatath.
Our holy mission takes a toll. Caution is warranted.
What have you learned?
Alric thinks the shadows will save him. He should see what true power looks like.
Bubble. That dude got fucking deleted.
How could any Arathi be in league with such monsters? The sacred flame is lost. Fall back!
No. We cannot keep retreating from the darkness. Our fear has overshadowed our faith. Belladar may have guided us, but it is not what will save us. Stand with me against the shadow. Show this harbinger the true strength of the Arathi.
And if you fall against the darkness, what will we do then?
It's what we always say, General. The light will return. Even if someone else carries the torch.
Aww.
We are the seekers of light. We are the holders of hope. In the very heart of shadow. Together, we guide the way.
This is boring. Boop. She made the light thing. Good for you, girl.
We are far from the Empire. We lose so many to the darkness.
We owe our service to those in need.
Check in.
I will help if I can. What Farron said, it got me thinking. Perhaps I've been wrong about what the light wants from me.
The day of dark, when I saw the depths of Alric's betrayal, I lost hope.
Illyria, what happened?
For years I'd held back the void within me, worried I'd hurt my loved ones. When Dalaran fell, I didn't draw on my power, and someone dear to me paid the price. Like Alric, Zalatar thinks herself safe behind layers of shadow. She isn't. Not when I can turn their own power against her.
Well, hey, what's going on, dude? How are you? I thought for sure you'd be around when I was playing WoW. I thought for sure you'd stop by, and here you are. What's going on, dude? How are you? How are things up there in Northern Europe? Hope you're having a nice day. Or are you getting ready for the weekend?
Step into the light.
Beware the shadows.
Yar, now it's late. I just got home from a day. Ooh, fuck yeah, dude.
Feel the warmth of the sacred flame. Walk in the light.
Excellent. Molly's out there checking on the lady friends. I dig it. I dig it. Love that. Love to hear that. That's excellent news. Good for you. Somebody from work?
May Belladar stay in the light. Find joy in the flame's light.
Not from work? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That's great, man. That's fucking excellent, dude. I'm fucking happy to hear that. That is actually, of all the things and conversations that we've ellipsed today, and then if, you know what I mean? That's the fucking best, dude. I'm not going to mess with that. Yeah, no, that's, well, the reason why that statement is because there's a huge,
Hardship, kindness.
you know what I mean?
Don't despair.
Yeah, no. I agree. But that's where people, you know, meet people through work or that kind of thing. It's very common.
Friends, the flame blesses us with victory. Your courage against the dark.
General, the Nerubians. They've opened a new front at Light's Redoubt.
Where's Light's Redoubt? Well, I don't know where Light's Redoubt is. Light's blooming. Priory of the Sacred Flame, Mariladar. Lights Redoubt. Okay, so this is the next.
I search each day for a winning strategy.
Flames. Harathi, mount up. Light's Redoubt calls for help. We bring hope into the darkness.
But don't mount up too quickly. This expansion isn't half bad, Molly. It's really not. It's actually really good.
Sacred flame guide your way, friend.
Olivia's patience is overrun. We must buy the villagers time before the reckoning can launch.
We must rely on outsiders to save the Arathi.
Despite everything.
Stalwarts, we are the wall today. Together we will stand against the darkness.
We need to evacuate the villages before the reckoning.
Yar, SOD kind of died for me. I'm not really a raider. Yeah, well, I mean, I respect that. So I played for a little while and quit. And I will not go back. The thing is with World of Warcraft, like the different versions of it, it's a very social game. So it's, you know, the whole thing about it is you get to the end game and then it's the people that you meet, you know what I mean? And who you're playing with and stuff like that. And it's not really a solo game. I mean, it is, you can play it solo and get that, but you'll always come to a stopping point. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like I can understand that, where you would get to a point where you're like, I'm not interested in this because yada, yada, yada. Whereas is that, you know, for me, like, I'm a very social person. You know, like the social part of it, I really enjoy, you know, because I get to meet people and stuff like that. And I think that that's the part that I truly enjoy, is like getting to meet people and stuff like, you know, and do that kind of things. The only thing that would change that is sometimes it's kind of a pain in the ass because like I'm trying to meet people and the people I'm interacting with are people that I don't like and that kind of shit, you know what I mean? Or I'm just like, these people are douchey and, you know. So it's kind of tough sometimes where I find like people that I'm not really happy with. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? But I'm only playing, I'm playing World of Warcraft right now just because I've been having fun with it. But, I definitely don't intend on becoming or being a World of Warcraft streamer, that's for sure. That's not on the fucking agenda for me, you know what I mean? I'm only playing this because I have time, you know? If you want to be a WoW streamer, it can't really do anything else for... You can't really do anything else for like a year or two. Yeah, I agree. It's very feast or famine. A lot of the people that do the WoW stream stuff are all, you know, that's their primary game, you know what I mean? And I consider myself a variety streamer just in the fact that I have a pretty varied content. You know what I mean? Like the different types of games and stuff that I play, but I'm not really a good variety streamer because like, if I was a good variety streamer, then I'd be playing Space Marine 2 right now. You know what I mean? Because that's what the variety streamers are doing. You know what I mean? they're all playing the big, whatever the big title is, you know what I mean? And I don't generally do that. I generally do what I want to do.
Burn brightly together. Everyone is evacuated. The Nerubians are massing for another assault. Fall back!
I do what I want to do.
Quickly! Before the Nerubians overwhelm us. Be strong, my friend. In my heart, there is fire. A beacon in the dark.
We have to get out of here now.
Get up.
Anduin!
I like Anduin. He's cool.
The light will return. Even if someone else carries the torch.
The shot goes wild.
Curse them all! Where did they take him? Do you see Anduin?
They dragged him down. I lost track of him.
Ash! We can't let them reach Merodar! Blast them apart!
I hate stuff like this. It's so dumb.
Sacred flame protects us!
All the WoW streamer I watch from time to time don't do other stuff. Yeah, only Guzu.
Darkness
But he's kind of big at the point. Well, he does a lot of
forces a taste of their own shadows.
he does a lot of classic stuff, right? Does all the execution. Yeah. He's a cool dude. I don't mind him. He's not, I mean, I obviously don't watch a lot of streamers like that. You know what I mean? It's not really my thing. Because they like him, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think he's one of those, he's got a really cool personality and he's a good dude. You know what I mean? He's not a fucking jackass, you know? He's got a good mix of what is it called, like of a good mix of content and then also a good mix of, like, you know, good content creation, content creator variation and stuff like that. Yeah, he's good. He's a good content creator. There's a lot of people out there that I like, though, that I don't particularly like. I don't particularly watch a lot of their content sometimes, you know? The ones I can't do are the IRL streamers, or like people that are...
Hold on. We don't know what's down there. Reinforcements are on the way.
Is she like sitting on my face? Whoa.
Flames! They were ready for us. Brace yourselves!
pretty cinematic, this stuff. Very different from old WoW. Oh, they are fucking cool looking. Whatever they are. They've got to be some kind of weird. Is it? Okay, there it goes. I didn't realize my mic stopped working.
We cannot hide from evil. Don't give in to fear.
I am on the hunt. Anduin would not have given up without a fight. He has to be down there.
Where are we going today, Grandmaster?
Anduin was not fucking giving up without a fight. He was kicking fucking ass. He jumped in there when all you pansies were fucking hanging out. Some pretty driving music.
Good luck, Grandmaster.
Oh, excuse me. The fuck was that? Not bad. The music's pretty good. Pretty cinematic. Not bad. Definitely gonna miss being a fucking night elf, that's for sure. Am I dead? Thought for sure that was going to kill me.
Do you see any sign of that woman who saved us?
I will not know. But I did find tracks leading south. And there's something foul down there as well.
We need to regroup.
There's no time. You find the others. I'll find Anduin.
Whoa. Shit, am I dead?
You survived the
Yes.
impressive.
'90s male fashion. Awful. Awful. All right. What is this? Uh-oh. Stream clip? Is she like sitting on my face? Oh god.
The world watch over you. I shall watch for you. Perhaps we'll meet again.
Of course.
The black blood is dangerous, especially in Nerubian hands. End their efforts here. I will meet you above, if you survive again.
All right. It is time, though. I'm going to step up for just a second here and get something to eat. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to switch games. So we're going to go to the startup screen and then I'll be back. I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes and then I'll be right back. So what we're going to do, I'm going to switch to Street Fighter 6. So that is, got my camera ready for that. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up for just a minute, get something to eat. It'll be about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to switch over to Street Fighter 6. Mr. Bojangles, if you're around and you want to play, to learn, I mentioned, you had mentioned that you said you picked it up. I can help you get the process started. But like any other game, fighting games in particular require touches because you just got to play, you got to learn it. You gotta pick a control scheme, you know, depending on what kind of controller you have and like how challenging of an effort that you want to make it. There's a lot to it. But let me get something to eat. I'll be back in a little bit. So you guys are gonna get the beach for a little bit while I get something to eat. Ballet. Nice. You joined the alliance? Excellent. Yeah, Marvel Snap is a good doodle game. It's a good one. Like as far as like doodle games are concerned, it's a good one. It definitely works. Even though Andy beats, why would he laugh at you? I don't think he was laughing at you. He didn't come across. I mean, I was there for a lot of that conversation, or for some of it at least, and it didn't seem like he was laughing at you at all. Because I'm level 70 and he laughed. Oh, please. Andy just likes he's more of like he likes those short format games. You know what I mean? Like low impact, like mobile games. There's people that do the mobile games. You know what I mean? Like that deal in that market or play in those areas really well, you know? And I think that it's just a different kind of player base, you know? You know what I mean? Like people interact in that way differently. All right. This is how we usually warm up. Do some of our trials and then we'll work on some of our mechanical stuff. I usually run through the trials real quick because it's a good starter. It's a good starter for me. For me to kind of get my mojo going. Oh yeah. Whoops. Picked the wrong one. Oh yeah. Whoops. Ah! There it goes. I was like sometimes when you're juggling them, you have to kind of like make sure that you get it, you know? Have to be fast. And then opposite there, where you don't have to be... The opposite of that, where you don't have to be fast on that one. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? This stuff's got to be automatic, man. This stuff's got to be automatic, man. Wrong one. It's open kick. Wrong one. Ah!